Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm Daffa Perkasa. I'm your local tour guide here in Semarang, especially in Kota Lama. But before we jump into this beautiful place here, I'll explain what Semarang briefly. And we are not talking about Semarang if we are not talking about Pasar Johar. Pasar Johar, in English, Johar Market was a very notable market here in Semarang. It's already active for a century, and if you step into the market, there are so many things, so many food there, and you'll be greeted by a lot of sounds, by a lot of foods, a lot of great smells of foods, great aroma, and beyond the culinary delight, Pasar Johar offers so many traditional crafts. So if you want to buy something for your brothers, sisters, there are so many traditional Semarang craft in Pasar Johar. And after exploring Pasar Johar, we'll venture in the heart of Semarang here in Kota Lama. And here in Kota Lama, the very trademarks here in Kota Lama is the Blenduk Church, or in Semarang we call it Gereja Blenduk. So what is Gereja Blenduk? It's a Protestant Christian church. It was the oldest Protestant church. It was built in 1753 in the 17th centuries in a Dutch colonial era when the Dutch still here in Indonesia. And why it's named Blenduk? Because of the dome. The shape of the domes is like a house balls, big rats. It's like one of the in Semarang Blenduk. So it's very popular here. And then people name it Gereja Blenduk. And another exteriors you can see is the main buildings beneath the domes. It's a pure white colors with very great old Netherlands or Dutch architectures. There are many windows in the upstairs, and there's old doors, Dutch style doors in beneath. And because of the neocultural Dutch architecture styles, in front of the church there are so many pillars. There are like 4 pillars in the front, and also other 1 pillars each side, left on the right side. And the church is still active, so people used to pray here. The Christians pray here every Sunday in the 9 p.m. in 9 p.m. And the church was taken by Indonesian government, by Semarang government after the Semarang independence in 1979. And yeah, the locals after that the locals just use it as a normal church. So yeah, now it's in Indonesian government to maintain the church, and it still have same architectures as it is built the first hand. Now, in my left side or my right, or on your right side, there's Gedung Oude Trap. It's a two-floor buildings, and each floor has a different owners. What is Gedung Oude Trap? Gedung Oude Trap is a place to make some events. If you want to make some events in Kota Lama, you probably want to use this Gedung Oude Trap. In the first floor, it's owned by the government, so you must make a letter for the government to want to use the first floors, and the second floor is owned by the company. And this was built mid 1800 in mid 18th centuries in 1857 somethings. And it has a very strong Dutch architectures inside. So in the interior, it has a good selling white ceilings, very Netherlands styles, and also it still has the same doors and the windows as the old buildings. Still, even though it's from the 18th centuries, the buildings already had so many renovations. So it's not so original as it is, but it's still have a look of older buildings. It has a two cafe besides the other traps, Jafra cultures, and Sukajaya. You can also enjoy some coffee here and also enjoy the view of the Kerja Benduks and also all the other buildings. Move on my right side or your left side. Here there are some marble buildings. Here marble buildings, a bright red and white buildings. It's a very old buildings. It was it was built in 19th centuries, mid 19th centuries, 1950, and because of the older law, the old law, each of the floors has different owners, just same like the other trap. So the first floors owned by Indonesian government, by Semarang government, by a company, and also and the second floors was empty, but and it's still owned by the Netherlands. Why it's still empty? Because well, nobody wants to nobody wants to buy it, and it's also hard to take the certificate back in here. So it's also another reason why it is still it has no renovations, still looks original. It has some cracks, some things, and well, yeah, it's because it's a very expensive to recover, to renove all of the buildings. And yeah, it has a old Dutch styles, the doors, the windows, everything is still original as it is built in the first hands. So yeah, and that's marble and left back here, but we are talking about the the parks. The park's name is Sri Kunting Parks. It's placed beside the Gereja Benduk, the Benduk Church. It has, and the most the most interesting part is it has a big 4 tree here in Semarang. People call it pohon asem. There are 4 pohon asem, a big tree, and probably have a hundreds of years old, and you can enjoy the scenery of the Kota Lama, scenery of the Gereja Benduks, the older buildings here in the parks, the Sri Kunting Parks. It has some place to photo, like the becak there, and some chair to sit to enjoy, and it's a cool place because well there are trees everywhere, there are plants, so it's so refreshing to sit here in the middle of the Sri Kunting Parks, and move to the behind of the Gereja Benduk there are gallery Indonesian gallery creative industry in Semarang, and it's like a museum because it's a place for the older stuff, older things like the older poster, the older photo cards, older calendars, everything that's heritage. It's been held here, and it's not like a museum. You can actually buy something from the place. Like if you want to buy like an old camera, old phones, old accessories, old stuff, you can buy it there, and it's very affordable. It's not that cheap, not that expensive. It's cheap. It's very affordable, and yeah, you can enjoy your time there to see the older stuff of well the older times. It brings you the old times, and behind you there are Spiegel, the most famous restaurant here in Kota Lama. Spiegel's owned by Semarang citizens named Bu Sita, Miss Sita. Well, Miss Sita bought the old place, the first and the second floors. Everything's owned by her. So yeah, it's very incredible to know the fact that she bought all of it and now become one of the most famous restaurant here. And I recommend you, if you come here, you must um, come to Spiegel and eat some of the delicious foods that you ever taste. And also, if you want to go to Kota Lama, don't forget about the culinary here. In Kota Lama, there are some culinary that's sold here, like a wingo babet. We already mastered them, the wingo babet, and soto. There